full volume fly ash geopolymer. The rivet sand is an important construction material, but its regeneration rate is less than extraction and is necessary as substitute for this to conserve natural recursions and supply its demand. The material used in this study was a fake precursor and an alkaline earthwork in concentration of 6 and 8% and fine aggregate. There was the fly ash and sand rivet to mortar. The cold fly ash and the rivet sand have different properties physics, like the ball density, specific gravity, and water altitude. In the experimental process was used different mixed proportion in the experimental and control mortars to determine what is the best mix of this process. The experimental and control mortars were subjected to tests of flowability, bicatinally, compressive strength and density, mercury intrusion porometry, dry indicated, XRD test, and scene test. Reference tests showed that the mortars doing with full volume fly ash have a less fluency than the mortar controls. In the case of the mortars doing with 6% of active alkaline is the 9%, and in the case of the 8% of active alkaline is the 19%. The BCAT nearly test showed that the drying time of the full volume fly ash mortars is less than their mortar control. In the case of the 6% of active alkaline is the 23%, and in the case of the 8% of the active alkaline is the 28%. The compression and density tests carried out at different ends of the mortars showed similar or slightly lower results between the experimental and control mortars, and the results varied according to the current method or the porosity test showed a higher porosity in the experimental mortar, which may explain the slight difference in the compressive strength and density test. The X-ray and the electron microscope test showed that the mortar made with 6% alkaline activator concentration is lower than the mortar made with the 8% of alkaline activator, and that if the mortar is the correct conclusions, the fly volume fly ash mortar's porosity was almost 2.5 higher than of the control mortars. In comparison with the control mortar, the experimental mortars, the compression results were smaller or similarly. The experimental mortars have a dry time lower than their control mortars. Thanks to all of you for your attention.